Oh my goodness, you guys. You don't know how many screensavers I have been trying to find to create this mood that we have right now. Hello, Shakara. She's coming to say hello. Baby, you want to be in the shot? Yeah. Okay, so welcome to Place the Bliss Academy. I'm so excited to be here with you and talking to you. I got an email from a student and I asked her a question because I thought I just want to start asking some questions to people a little bit more just to find out a little bit more about their journey. And the question that I asked her was, what are you currently working on within yourself? And I thought, that's a really great question. What am I really working on within myself? Well, everybody's working on something, and I rarely ask myself that question, but if I were to ask myself the same question I asked my student, which is, what am I working on within myself? What would that be? The thing that came up for me is I'm really working on navigating my pain and rejection right now. And that's just being honest, right? Being honest with you guys. We all go through stuff, and even teachers, even people that people might look at and go, oh, they have it all together because they're out there giving all the answers. But the thing is that we are able to give answers to things because we are suffering those things, and we've taken the time to learn and to pass it on, right? Move it forward to other people so they don't have to maybe linger there as long as maybe we did. We're all working on something, and I thought, a lot of people deal with navigating pain for different reasons, and a lot of people have to deal with rejection of some sort. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the ways in which I'm navigating my pain and rejection. And mine is coming from a family situation where someone in my own personal life has chosen to not be in my life for their own reasons that I don't agree with. It's very painful for me because it's someone that I'm really close with. And I don't really understand it, although I've tried. So there comes a point where you have to learn how to navigate pain when you're not going to be able to affect the solution. And so I thought this would be really valuable to talk to you guys about, to give you some of my insights so that it might help you with some of your insights if you happen to be navigating pain and even navigating rejection. And pain and rejection, they tend to go together. So the first thing that you need to do is, step one is just analyze the situation. What actually happened? What is the source of the conflict? Step two would be third-party perception. So there's people that know you, and these are the people that will get in your face and tell you when you're wrong. And these are the people that you need to tell what's going on in the situation if you're questioning it. Because you don't want to ask people that are going to be cheerleaders for you no matter what happens. Best friends are going to hate everyone you hate. That's not what you need in this situation. What you need if you're doing self-analysis is a real honest look at what you did to contribute to the problem, and looking at what you did to contribute to any conflict. Not to blame yourself, but just to grow within yourself, to always look within first. The next step is third-party perception, because you want to make sure that there's other perspectives that can look at the situation, hear what you have to say, and offer you an alternative view of the situation. These are the people that will get in your face when you are doing something wrong, or if you're telling them and you're getting self-righteous about something, they'll get in your face and tell you you're being self-righteous. Those are the people that you want around you when you're having issues like this, so that you can have somebody that you really trust that can be honest with you to tell you how they are perceiving what you're saying to them and what the situation is really about. The next step is ask yourself how you can neutralize the situation without invalidating your own feelings or your own truth. Because at the end of the day, my little doggies here, at the end of the day, you want to do whatever you can to neutralize any chaos or disharmony that is in your orbit, especially when it involves people that you're very close with. Even family members, right? Because you're always tied to them and you're always going to want peace. we're all going to want peace with anyone, but especially with family, it's extremely painful when it's people that you're connected to through family, and for some reason there's disharmony and there's no dialogue or communication. It's very hurtful. So you want to do what you can do to neutralize it, but you don't want to invalidate yourself or have to ignore your own feelings in order to make peace. And that's where sometimes things go wrong, because people will bend over backwards or walk on eggshells to create harmony. And that invalidates you, and it doesn't honor the truth of how you felt. So neutralize without invalidating your feelings or your own truth. Okay, the next step is hold no account of the injury. This may be harder to do. So I want to express to you that holding no account of the injury does not mean that you can't be angry. I want you to honor all parts of the range of your emotion, and that includes when you're angry or frustrated or sad. You know, yin yang, you're going to have happy emotions over here, shady, sunny side, and you might have some dark stuff over here. All of that is you. And so you can't deny yourself. You don't want to deny yourself, and you don't want to cut yourself off from a certain part of your feelings. You may come by those feelings honestly, and you have the right and deserve to be angry about certain things that may have taken place. And so it's always important to acknowledge your feelings. Saying that you're just going to cut off the anger and you're just going to give in, or you're just going to do whatever you got to do to bring harmony, is kind of summarizing over the problem. It's not really a good coping mechanism. You actually have to face what's going on. And if you feel angry, you're allowed to be angry, and at the same time, you don't have to be angry and hold account of the injury. You have to deal with it. There's a difference between having anger or frustration from a situation and then holding a grudge. You don't have to hold a grudge in order to express your anger. So hold no account of that injury, simply deal with it. And if you deal with it, you're going to get through it and go right out of it. If you are silent and you're not honoring your truth, and you're bending over backwards to make allowances so that you can have harmony, but you've invalidated yourself and your feelings in the process, then you're going to need retribution for that at some point. And so what I'm saying to you is just start with honoring yourself in all the range of your feelings, including anger, and really analyze, where is that coming from? That becomes part of the source of the solution, to understand why you're angry, why you're sad, and what you need to do to move past it. If you don't ever give yourself any analysis portion of this, you're not going to really even know what's going on. You're just going to hold the feelings and hold account of the injury, and that's going to just be seeds for future chaos. Okay, the next step in this is that you have to accept that you may not be able to affect the change you want. And that's really hard, because it just means that you're doing all that you can, and sometimes you're so frustrated at the end of that because you've done everything that you could and you still can't come together. We can't change people. We can't move people's hearts unless their hearts are movable, unless they want to change and be touched or moved by your expression and your attempt at communication. Sometimes you just can't affect change, and you have to accept that it doesn't have anything to do with you or what you didn't do or what you did wrong. When you know that you've done all these other things and you're coming from a place of love and from a heart-centered place, and still you're met with resistance or someone who's just hardened their heart to you, you can't affect change in people. They do it for themselves. Okay? And so sometimes you just have to accept that, because if you don't accept it, then you keep dredging up frustration and anger of why they didn't respond because you were doing all these loving things. So that can just be like a recipe for driving yourself crazy. So move past it by just saying, sometimes you just have to accept that you can't affect the change because you put your heart-centered love into it, but you can't make someone else do the same, and that's okay. If that's the case, maybe you're unevenly yoked at that moment. Maybe it'll change later, or maybe it won't. However, you can just now move on because you know you gave everything that you had of love, and That's all you can do. The next thing is comfort your own sadness within yourself for the situation. Be a source of comfort to yourself. Instead of the dialogue that's always chastising yourself for what you could have done or what you should have done different, shitting on yourself, simply just comfort yourself in your feelings and your emotions. You're allowed to feel sad sometimes. You're allowed to feel a little depressed about something, a little emotional about something that happened to you. You don't have to be a beacon of light every single second of the day. You're allowed to have some sad emotions. Honor those emotions when you go through it and comfort yourself the way that you would comfort a friend. Okay? Do something nice for yourself. Go buy yourself I don't know, some kind of warm drink if that makes you happy. Go buy yourself some flowers. Buy yourself a new plant and put all of your love into that. Watch it bloom. Do something. Buy a stuffed animal. Buy an ice cream. Do something that makes you feel like, you know what, I've done everything that I can and I'm left with this sadness, and that's okay for right now. I know it will pass. And in the meantime, I'm going to do loving things to myself to make me feel better. Make yourself feel better. You don't have to rely on anyone else to do that. You can do that for yourself. Very important, say a prayer for the person. Now, whether you use the language of prayer or a call to the universe, talking about, divine light and energy, whatever your word is that is a blessing for other people, do it. Say it. Hold an intention for somebody, whoever that person is that's caused you pain. You've done everything and cannot affect change to bring you back to a place of harmony in this moment. Hold a good intention for them. Hold a prayer for them. Hold light for them. Have an intention that wishes only the best for them, even if it means without you. And be genuine. This is a genuine thing. When you have genuine, selfless love for other people, it isn't dependent on how they respond to you or whether they responded to any of the things that you did to try and make peace. You simply are wishing them peace for the sake of love and for the sake of peace itself. It is not dependent on whether or not they are living up to any expectations. You're simply wishing them well, because in the doing so, you are also holding the energy for yourself. The next thing, and this is the very last thing that I'll say, is that you move on with yourself in joy. The best way that you can honor your life is to pursue happiness and joy and to get every bit of love and happiness out of every moment. And it's not about big moments. It's all the incremental little moments of how you live your life. It's the little things that all add up to a bigger picture. Honor your divine right to have happiness and balance and joy, and that it is not dependent on any other person. And in this way, you have worked full circle the whole scope of dealing with your emotions, making sure that you are grounded, making sure that you have done all the things that bring you into peace with your own energy. And when you've done that, you've done all that you can do to deal with your own feelings of sadness and rejection and pain. And you simply move on with your life in peace. Now, this may be something that you have to do several times or over and over. It may be that you do it every time that you are faced with the feeling that arises, because the feeling can pop up again. You may do it once and you feel a great sense of peacefulness with it. And then there may be another time where you do it when it comes up again some other time. This is a technique for you that you will undoubtedly use throughout your life. I know that I do. And the most important thing is just to love yourself and be in a space of love for you, no matter what. You are perfect in your imperfection. No matter what happens in life, you always have a way back to yourself and a way back to peace and happiness. So know that and utilize this little strategy to help get you there time and again as you need it throughout life. I hope you've enjoyed this video. on navigating pain and rejection. I hope it's brought you peace. And please like and subscribe the video if you're watching this on YouTube. Comment, because I love hearing the comments of what you guys might be dealing with and how you deal with things like that and how you related to everything that I talked about right now. I'm really glad to have you listening, and I'll see you in the next video.